Hey, hi, I'm Mona. This is Sacred Geometry Universe Video Journal Diary for... It's the 16th or the 17th. I'll let you know with the date. Anyways, it's Sunday. It's nice and peaceful out there. We already came back from the morning walk and workout. And, yesterday I had a visitor. That one guy. But I had to straight out ask him, "Are you a MAGA?" And he said, "Yes." Wah, wah, wah. I was like, ugh. And I'm all, why would you? And he's Mexican. And he was in the military. He didn't use any of his GI Bill. You know, the MAGAs, they're not smart. They kind of just go with what's going on around and they just follow the herd like a bunch of sheep, you know? And I was talking to him, but he likes me, so he was listening to me, and I'm like, why, why would you vote for something if you know there's something wrong on both sides? Oh, well, it's because they follow like sheep. They become manipulated by those around them. And he even told me, like, he's got friends that don't talk to him anymore because he's a MAGA and all this. I'm about to not talk to him anymore either. But I told him, why don't you switch to be an independent? Why can't you think for yourself? Like, I was telling him all kinds of stuff, but he was taking it because he knows he's wrong. He knows he's wrong. And I was asking him why he hates this and why he didn't have an answer for anything. He answered just like everybody else. I just don't like them. I just don't like them is not an answer to a logical question that you should be able to answer freely without even thinking twice. That guy can never step foot in my house. I talked to him outside in the driveway. You know, he stayed in his car and I talked to him right there for like 45 minutes. It's okay. He's like, "Aren't you hot out here?" I'm like, "No. I was living in this kind of heat for like 4 years. I'm used to it. Yeah, I come into the house, it's nice and cool, but I'm okay with the heat too." I actually like the heat and I like sweating because it cleanses the system, so I like it anyways. Anyways, the whole town, most of the town is MAGA. And the people who are not MAGA, I don't even think they voted, because they're uneducated, so they probably think, oh, my one vote won't matter. Well, it will if you go and do it. This guy didn't even know who the commissioner of the town was. Like, he didn't know who's running the town. He's like, "He is?" And I was like, "Yeah, you didn't know that?" He's like, "No." These people don't even know the connection of the corruption here. They think that everything is fine until I tell them, and they're like, "What? Really?" That's how smart they are here. They're not really that smart. They're really not. Even the one guy who was the insurance guy, who you'd think would have a little bit of common sense, he didn't even know who the commissioner was. He's like, "Oh, I talked to that. I'm going to go talk to him and ask him." He didn't even know. These people around here don't even know who runs their town. They just let them run willy-nilly, like all chaos, no problem. You know what I'm saying? This is Woodsboro, Texas, a very corrupt town. And they hide behind the town's leaders and the sheriff of Refugio County. Corruption. Anyways, I did mention it was Sunday. I kind of dip into my books all the time, but today I was like, oh, let me look into the book that the lady who I bought the house from left me. I never opened it before. She left me this NIV Value Thin Line Bible. I thought it was very nice. And I just put it in my bookshelf. And today I was like, you know what? Because I knew it was a large print book. I was like, let's see what the book has to say to me today. Because I like to do it like that. I like to just scroll through the page, and whatever I land on, I will read that passage. And then I will contemplate it. So I opened the book, and a little cockroach flew out of it. You know, books are prone to like roaches and water bugs because they like the glue in the spine. So this is why it's always good to check your books, because the glue in the spine of books attracts bugs. So like if you go to a library, ooh, there's bound to be a whole bunch of bugs there. But they don't catch them because they're nocturnal bugs, right? They're nocturnal. So anyways, I was going to do the flip through, and then I found this in there. It's a very ugly picture of Jesus. It's very ugly. It doesn't look good at all. But there was something written on the back of it, and I was like, what? And listen what it says. This is Proverbs 31:26. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is in her tongue. I was like, wow, that's me. I can't believe it. This is the epitome of me. When I speak, I try to speak with wisdom. And when I teach people, I try to teach them with kindness. And, I try to be nice with them. So when I read that, I was like, that is a message from God. I can't believe... I don't know if you can read it backwards or forwards or whatever, but she opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching to kindness is in her tongue. I think it's backwards, but you see that? I live every day of my life. I try to walk in the steps of Jesus. I try to be kind to everybody, no matter who they are, even the MAGAs around me, because I'm trying to find out why they are so ignorant. And it's because of just ignorance is bliss. You know what I mean? If you have a bunch of ignorant people around you, you're going to live your life in ignorance. These people probably haven't picked up a book to read in the longest. If anything, they probably bring their little Bibles to their little churches and they follow along or listen to what the preacher says. But the preacher here is probably MAGA too. And nobody here, if they're for MAGA, they are not for God. Excuse me, they are not for God. Because Jesus didn't want all this destruction and hatred and hurting other people to happen. But the MAGAs are first to hurt people. They really are. They're first to be violent. They're first to hurt people. They're first to speak terribly of others. They're first to become violent and hurt other people. So let's see. I'm just really surprised of this. And maybe this is a sign. I take everything as a sign. I've never seen this. I've been here this whole time and had this book so long since I've been here. I just never opened it. I have my other books. I have like 2 other Bibles, and I have other readings for religion. But today I decided on this, and I was like, And that's kind of what I was trying to do with this fellow yesterday, is I was trying to talk to him and ask him, like, why? Why do you feel this way? How do you support a man who rapes children? How do you support a man being Mexican yourself who hates Mexicans and women? And he was in the military. But like I said, he didn't use his GI Bill, so he kind of stayed dumb, like high school mentality, and moved back to the town where everybody has the same high school mentality as he does. I just wanted to share that with you guys real quick, because I'm going to still read here, but I thought that if that's not a message from Jesus or God, I don't know what is. Because it came out of nowhere. And this is the epitome of me. If I speak to somebody, I'm going to give them wisdom. But I'm going to be kind about it. I'm not going to be forceful. Because I'm not a forceful person. You know what I mean? Why? What good is being forceful with anything? Anyways, when you scream at people, they tend to not want to listen. But when you speak to people with kindness, they are more prone to listen. Some people will even get angry because you're not affected by whatever they're trying to do to make you have an outburst, or what. That makes people angry that they can't get to you. And I love to do that, unfortunately for them. I love to see other people have an outburst when I'm sitting there calmly. They try to do that to me, the sheriff's department. They tried to make me have an outburst or get angry. They recorded the conversation. They didn't tell me, but they just couldn't do it. Because I'm not like them. I'm kind, and I have a lot of wisdom. Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to share that with you today because I thought this was like a really crazy thing to find here. And I was like, wow, I gotta say something about this. So anyways, I'm Mona. This was Sacred Geometry Universe. I will put the correct date up there because I didn't check. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.